Hey guys, welcome to part 4, the finale of the 1993 Topps Finest Baseball Refractor set review. We're going to look at cards 151 through 199, the very end of the set. Make sure you watch video 1 especially, but make sure you watch video 1, video 2, video 3 before you watch this one. In video 1, we talk about the rarity of this set. How much are boxes? How many copies of these refractors actually exist? As you guys know, 93 Finest, the first ever premium card set, the first ever chrome card set, and the first time anyone ever saw a refractor. A very significant set. I think it's the most important set in modern cards. On our YouTube channel, and I'll put a link down in the description below. I will put a link to the other videos. But here's video 1 with Ozzie Smith. You can see, just click on our playlist. You guys will see the playlist tab on our YouTube channel. Go to view full playlist, and you can start here with video 1, and we go over the whole description of the set. 241 copies of each one of these cards exist. And I want to kind of juice this up. We'd like to talk a little bit about the players. I've looked up some things about the players just to kind of have a little fun as we go. Some of the players I don't know a lot about, but I've read some things, and you guys will be more educated about. Guys like Bob Welch. Bob Welch, card 151. All these are SGC graded. I think, at least at the time of the recording of the first video, I think it was the only SGC set to exist. I think there are enough cards out there in the population that there could be another set, but pretty tough to find. Bob Welch, Cy Young in 1990, 3-time World Series champ. Died from a fall in his house at age 57. Ow, I don't want to start off sad. So moving on. John Jaha for the Brewers. Jaha. Used to make fun of this guy. I don't know why. Can't imagine why we made fun of him. John Jaha. 8.5 grade on that one. As we've talked about in every video, guys, the centering on these was horrible. They were scratched. There were surface bubbles. Kind of the first run of refractors. So the production makes getting gem mint copies very difficult. Actually, in this set, have no 10 grades. 0. Out of 199 cards submitted, 0 got a 10 grade. Have several 9s, a lot of 9s, but it tells you how tough it is. Jaha is on the Brewers Wall of Honor and made one All-Star game. All right, Harold Baines, the Hall of Famer, that's right, and a 7.5. This is probably one I need to upgrade, get a little bit higher grade. Harold Baines, he's an Oriole here. I think of him as a White Sox player manager. 75% of the vote, he just made it. The White Sox retired his number while he was still playing. That's weird. That's how much they thought highly of Harold Baines. Retired his number while he was still in the league. Randy Johnson, this is my only case that has a scratch on it. I just can't bring myself to get it reslabbed. I like the old labels. I don't want to get a lot of new labels here, but this case does have a big scratch. He's the big unit. He's a Hall of Famer as well. It's a mint 9 copy. Very not a cheap card. How was he given the nickname the big unit? He ran into Tim Raines and knocked him over at training camp. And Raines said, and I quote, "Damn, you're a big unit." That's it. That's the story. All right. Speaking of stories, Al Martin. I know you guys all know who Al Martin is. 7.5 grade, very low grade. Al Martin, but Al Martin's a strange dude. He claimed during his entire career that he played football at USC. That he played linebacker. There's no record of him ever going to USC. He also claimed to have made the 94 baseball All-Star game, and he did not. Liar, liar, Al Martin on fire. All right, JT Snow. Interesting thing about this card, there's only 2 cards in the set that are actually rookie cards in 93 Finest. SGC, what I thought's interesting, they put rookie on it. Didn't know that was something they did. JT Snow, his dad played in the NFL. His name was Jack Snow. Jack Snow played in the NFL. And Mike Mussina, another Hall of Famer, got in the same year as Harold Baines. I'm kind of like Harold Baines, Mike Mussina. I think they're probably Hall of Famers. I was very much on the fence. Mussina had a really good career, 76% of the vote, and he is a crossword puzzle enthusiast. He is the only person in the world that is a crossword puzzle enthusiast. My guy, Ruben Sierra, makes me sad to see him on Oakland here. Was traded from the Texas Rangers for Jose Canseco. As you guys saw in a previous video, Canseco has a Rangers card, an all-star card in this set. Sierra played 20 seasons. I'll show the back of one of these. I'm not really going to go over the backs. They put the player's position and the team name on the back of the card. If you notice, it was really weird in the 90s not to have a player's team or position anywhere on the front. That was different. So really interesting design. All right, Dean Palmer. I really had to dig to think of something or find out something cool about Dean Palmer, and I didn't succeed. There's nothing really I can say about Dean Palmer except he played 14 years and he's a high school coach. Dean Palmer. Kind of boring. Next up, Steve Avery on that staff of aces over in the Atlanta Braves. Kind of overshadowed by Smoltz, Glav, and Maddox. He was a really good player in his own right. Steve Avery, All-Star in 93, World Series champ in 95, and the NLCS MVP in 91. So, again, Avery, pretty good player. Just overshadowed. Julio Franco, tell me in the comments, maybe like somehow related to Wander Franco? I don't really know if he is. Julio Franco, 31 seasons in professional baseball. 31 seasons. Now that's the MLB and the Mexican League. His final appearance in a game, and the Japanese League, I should say. His final appearance was at age 57 in a Japanese League game. He was a manager and a player. That's cool. He kept playing, man. Dave Winfield, Big Dave, could have played any sport he chose. He was that good of an athlete. First ballot Hall of Famer. And one of the few players ever, there were like 4 maybe, to be drafted in baseball, in the NFL, and in the NBA. The Atlanta Hawks drafted him. The Minnesota Vikings drafted him. And I believe it was Yankees. Correct me if I'm wrong on that for baseball. But interesting. All right, Tim Salmon. I say Salmon. Could be Salmon. This guy's cards were right up there with Mike Piazza back in 93. If you pulled this refractor back then, you were dancing around the card shop. This thing was very desirable, Tim Salmon. Had a pretty good career. Rookie of the Year in 93. He was actually lost. His parents lost him. He left the house at age 3. Just wandered outside. The police, the authorities, everyone scattered to find him. Where did they find him? He was sitting watching a baseball game at the local baseball field. So there you go. Makes sense. This is Tom Hinkie. Hinkie Winky. Played for the Rangers. I do not remember him on the Rangers. I feel like I was a big Rangers fan, but I don't remember Hinkie. Canadian Hall of Fame. Lives on a 1,000-acre ranch with his wife. Life's tough. Tom Hinkie. Mo Vaughn, my guy. Mo Vaughn. I don't think Mo's ever going to make it to the Hall of Fame. I think he's off the ballot now. That's a 9 grade. Very high grade. You can still tell it's a little bit off-centered on these. And this is my highest grade on any of the cards. Have several 9s in the set. But again, getting a 10, almost impossible. Most of these are going to be pop 0 in a 10, meaning it doesn't exist. He's big into real estate and the New York City area, I believe, real estate developer. And he is off the Hall of Fame ballot. Didn't make it. This guy did make it. Smoltzy. This is one you would be very happy to pull. This is one I probably need to get a better copy. The only reason I hesitate on some of these is I would have to get a copy with a new label on it. Kind of takes away from the all the cards having the old style SGC label. But I may upgrade this one. Smoltz, first ballot Hall of Famer. Friend of Tiger Woods. He's an avid golfer. Tiger is his buddy. Next up, Danny Tartable. I've got my high-tech notes here, guys. High-tech notes. Danny Tartable played for the Yankees. I remember him. Also a 9 grade. Really good-looking card. Nice centering. What do I got on Tartable? The most important thing I can say about Danny is he was not on 1 episode. He was on 2 episodes of Seinfeld. So he may have Paul O'Neill beat. I don't know if he's got Keith Hernandez beat, but he was on 2 episodes of Seinfeld. I need more notes because we got Delino DeShields. Now, this is Delino Sr. As you guys know, Junior played in the majors for a little bit. Delino DeShields. I think it's on the Expos here, maybe. Committed to play basketball for Villanova back in the day, but ended up getting drafted 12th overall, getting a bunch of money, and decided to go to the majors. And a Dynasty favorite, Charlie Huff, card 169. That seems to make sense. Look how... All I can say about Charlie Huff is he's just a good-looking dude. We at DynastyBreaks.com for many years have said, Charlie Huff is just a fine-looking fella. I think he's like 85 years old, pitching for the Marlins here. Pitched for them in 93 and 94. And Charlie Huff there's Charlie Huff. There's Brad Pitt. Sorry, Brad. Charlie Huff. Jamie, one of our customers, big Charlie Huff fan, has a crush on him. Speaking of Seinfeld, Paul O'Neill hit 2 home runs for me. 8.5 grade, pretty high grade. I'm happy. Anything at an 8 or above, I'm pretty happy with in the set. When you start to get into the 7.5 and lower, those are the ones I'm always looking to upgrade. So, Darren Dalton, very sad story here. Darren Dalton, really good player for the Phillies. Died of brain cancer. Died very young of brain tumor in 2017, I think. So, far too young. I've got him as a 3-time All-Star, World Series champ. I think they won it in 97. Jack McDowell, guitar player for several rock bands, like metal bands. And he did win a Cy Young Award too, Jack McDowell. I think Black Jack McDowell is what they call him. You guys correct me on some of these things. If there's something you know about these players, let me know in the comments. I've had a few interesting comments on the previous 3 videos, or I've made mistakes. Let me know. All right, Junior Felix. I feel like there's something impressive about Junior Felix. If I pulled this card, if I paid like $1,000 to $1,500 for a box, and I'm like, oh, here's my refractor, and it was Junior Felix, I think I would throw the box up against a wall. This is not one you want, but he hit a home run in his first ever at bat in the bigs. And the same season, he hit an inside-the-park grand slam. So what do I know? Junior Felix, better than me at baseball. Jimmy Key, 5-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion. Really good player, Jimmy Key. And he is an amateur golfer as well. Just a good athlete all around, Jimmy Key. All right, let's start off on stack 2. By the way, my guy... I'm not going to say that's my favorite refractor in the set, the Mike Piazza, but it's right there. It's right there. All right, we got George Bell. Weird first name. This was actually his last season in the majors. 93. Played for a long, long time. And he did win an MVP award, American League MVP. We've got Mike Stanton in a 9. Mike Stanton. And you guys that look at 90s refractors, even like all the way back to like Topps Chrome with the Kobe Bryants, Michael Jordans, people talk about greening. You can see around his mouth, kind of looks like Shrek right there. These old refractors, the weird thing about 93 Finest is I don't really see the whole thing greening. I see little parts. Nolan Ryan on his All-Star card kind of has a similar thing. If you look on eBay, look at any of the Nolan Ryans, you'll notice a little discoloration. Just the production had not been perfected yet on these. Now this got a 9. My guess is that discoloring may even have happened after this thing was slabbed up. So Mike Stanton, by the way, was mentioned in the Mitchell report for using human growth hormones. He denies it. So that's just an allegation. Lenny Dykstra, not going to go into Lenny Dykstra. This video would be 75 hours long if we talked about all of Lenny Dykstra's bad stuff he did. I like people. I think people are generally nice. They're generally very pleasant. Lenny Dykstra, I feel like is a bad guy. Go read about Lenny Dykstra and get a drink, get a beverage. It's going to take you a while to go through the laundry list of stuff that guy did. Rice graduate and a World Series champ and an All-Star. Norm Charlton, kind of boring. PSA 9 or SGC 9. SGC 9 grade. Eric Anthony, coming down the home stretch here. Eric Anthony in an 8 grade. SGC does not any longer do the 100-point scale. What I thought was cool is when they used to do a 100-point, they would kind of tell you, okay, this is an 8. So Eric Anthony, he worked at a plastic company. He went over to the Astros to do a walk-on tryout, and he jacked several home runs over 400 feet. They drafted him that year. That's how he got in the big leagues. Let me move this Mike Piazza. We got Rob Dibble, who has a very bad temper. I don't even have to read my notes. I remember Rob Dibble got into a brawl with manager Lou Piniella. So Rob Dibble. Otis Nixon. I'm doing this without my notes. I'm very impressed. Otis Nixon, the most steals by any player in the 90s. And the most steals by a player that never one time made an All-Star game. Look it up. May not be true anymore, but it was at one point. Randy Myers. He is a martial arts expert. That's all I have. Oh, and women's basketball promoter. Post-career. All right, here's one I replaced. So I haven't replaced a ton of these because I don't like doing this to the label. Old SGC label, new SGC label. Yes, this looks better. Got it. But doesn't really fit with the set. My Tim Raines had a crease on the back, and it was graded a 4. So I had no choice but to get Rock Raines. Was not a cheap card. He's a Hall of Famer. Also gave Randy Johnson his nickname of the Big Unit. He got in on his last ballot, and he had 100 scholarship offers to play football, play running back. Ended up going to baseball instead. Oral Hershiser. There are actually Oral Hershiser collectors out there. I've met some at the National, not kidding. Oral Hershiser, this would have been one of his best cards, if not his best card in existence. A lot of the players in this, their best card ever would be the 93 Finest Refractor. He had 59 consecutive scoreless innings pitched. Very impressive. That is a record. Andy Van Slyke, he was in a lot of the big inserts in the 90s. His career, I feel like, kind of tailed off. Played for the Pirates back then. And apologize for the glare, guys. These are in bags. I have these bagged, so probably a little more clear shot of the refractors without the bag, so apologize for that. Andy Van Slyke, he's a hopeful to get into the Hall of Fame via the Veterans Committee. He is an author, writes baseball books. Mike Lansing, pretty interesting Mike Lansing tidbit. There was a rule in the MLB draft that had never been used before. He was not drafted by any major league team. He was, however, drafted by a totally independent minor league team in the MLB draft. There was a rule where a minor league team could make a pick. He's the first player to ever have that happen. He played for 2 years for them. Then he went to the big leagues. Ray Lankford. I love me some Ray Lankford. I'm very disappointed there's not a whole lot of information out there about him that I saw. I used to like him for the Cardinals. He is in the Cardinals Hall of Fame. Love me some Ray Lankford. Good player. Nickname, The Nomad. It's Mike the Nomad Mormon. Went to 13 different teams. I'm sure someone has done more than that. But Mike Morgan, 13 different teams. Not the refractor you want to pull if you're getting a box of Finest. All right, next up. Moises Alou, my guy, in a 9 grade. Really surprised this got a 9. Usually people are like, my card's a better grade than that. No, I really don't know that this deserved a 9. It is pretty far off center. But glad to have it in that grade. One of 4 major leaguers to hit 20 home runs, and his father also did that. So like Ken Griffey Jr., Ken Griffey, forget the other players, but his dad, Felipe Alou, also had a 20 home run season. Edgar Martinez, this is one I need to rethink. I need to get another Edgar Martinez. It's got some scuffing on the top. It's way off center. I am going to get another Edgar Martinez like I did a Tim Raines. So that'll be one I'm looking for. Hall of Famer, number 11, retired by the Mariners. Who else we got? John Franco supplied tickets throughout his career. Tickets to games. According to a 2004 FBI report. To the Italian mob. Just saying. I think it did violate MLB rules, John Franco. Doing that. Fraternizing with criminals. But I don't know. That happened. That is public knowledge. Robin Yount, first ballot Hall of Famer. Motorcycle racer. Car racer. He did that after his career. I love this card. This would be one I'd be very happy to pull. Pretty nice grade, 8.5. Not a cheap card. And I think one of our customers, Carly, has a restraining order against her. All right, this is Bob Tewksbury. Played himself in the movie The Scout and actually had the lowest walk percentage in 100 years of baseball. I'm probably saying that wrong. Correct me in the comments. He walked 20 batters in 233 innings, which was the best in over 50 years. And for a career, it was only he and maybe one other pitcher in 100 years, 100 plus years. Maybe Addie Joss back in the day, pre-war, that walked as few batters as Bob Tewksbury. Kind of interesting. Jay Bell was the manager later in his life. Played for the Pirates here. Jay Bell, this is a common, managed the, I got to read this, Rocket City Trash Pandas. Actually, probably a bigger highlight than his career had. Luis Gonzalez, most notably, got all his accolades, or a lot of his accolades with the Diamondbacks. Luis Gonzalez, number 20 was the first number ever retired by Arizona. I think he had a game-winning hit that won them the World Series in 01. I don't remember, but I think. Currently a 5th grade teacher, Dave Fleming for the Mariners. How did Dave Fleming get into the 93 Finest set? I don't know. He just barely snuck in there. Dave Fleming, very short career, and he is currently a 5th grade teacher in Connecticut. Good for him. We need 5th grade teachers in Connecticut. That is 8.5 grade Mike Greenwell, getting down to the last 3 cards here. Drove stock cars post-MLB career. Pretty interesting. David Need. This guy was popular. I remember in 93, I was working in a card shop when this product came out. People were chasing David Need cards. Rockies and Marlins were pretty popular. They had just come on the scene as new franchises. Man, he had an arm injury, he had a very short career. But the good news is he sells farm equipment. And he married a contestant from The Bachelor. So his wife is a Bachelor contestant. Go David Need. Congrats on that. And my guy, maybe my favorite refractor in the set is the final card in the set. Mike Piazza, 8.5. That's a nice looking copy. These did, just like in modern days, you can see a little bit of a refractor coating line right there on the Piazza. So probably why it didn't get a 9. The centering is really good. Piazza's dad made over $100 million in cars and real estate. Was a very wealthy man. Tommy Lasorda, manager for the Dodgers, was Piazza's godfather. And being that his dad was rich, he had like hitting instruction from Ted Williams when he was a kid. Had a lot of benefits being the rich kid, I guess. And then Tommy Lasorda drafted him as a favor to his dad. Drafted him 1,390th overall out of 1,395. So only 5 people went after Piazza in the draft. He is the lowest drafted player, I think, in any major sport to make it to the Hall of Fame. So kudos to my guy, Mike Piazza. That was the set. That was it. It's over. 199 cards, 93 Topps Finest Refractor set. Again, I think it's the most significant modern set of all time. It totally changed the game. That's why we have Bowman Chrome now. That's why we have purple refractors, orange refractors, super refractors. It was all born with this set. If you have any questions, any comments, you can email us. Our email address is back here. Check out our website. We open cards 4 days a week. And make sure to leave a comment on the video with any memories you guys have of any of these players from the 90s. Peace out. God bless. We'll see you next time.